They never said my name in your textbooks. You've probably never heard it in school, and maybe not even once on television or the news. But I was there. My hands built the world you live in, though the world rarely remembered mine. My name is Lucy Parsons. Or at least, that's the name history sometimes lets slip. Born around 1851, likely in Texas, possibly into slavery. They don't like to pin it down, you know? People like me, women like me, get blurred, erased, filed away under troublemakers or agitators. But I was more than that. I was a force. I was a black woman, maybe part Mexican and indigenous too. But they never liked how mixed I was, how hard I was to categorize. I loved a white man once, a Confederate soldier turned radical, and that made people even more uncomfortable. But it also made us dangerous together. You see, I spent my life fighting for the working class, people whose backs were broken building this country's wealth. I stood in the streets of Chicago, speaking to crowds that numbered in the thousands, demanding dignity for laborers, justice for the poor, and freedom for the oppressed. I talked to people who worked 14 hours a day and slept in rooms smaller than your closet. I rallied women who lost their husbands to coal dust, their sons to steel mills, and their daughters to textile machines. I asked the simple question that still scares the powerful: why should the many starve while the few feast? They tried to silence me. Again and again. The police followed me. The newspapers twisted my words. The city of Chicago once banned me from speaking publicly, not because I incited violence, no, but because I had the nerve to speak at all. Because I was a woman who didn't know her place. Because I was a woman who dared to stand up and shout when the world told me to sit down and whisper. I was there after the Haymarket affair. My husband, Albert Parsons, was one of the men hanged for supposedly inciting the violence that killed a policeman during a labor rally in 1886. But that was a lie. The state needed scapegoats, and radicals like us were easy targets. Albert gave his life for the cause, and I didn't back down. I mourned him with my fists clenched and my voice raised higher. For 60 years, I marched. I organized. I wrote. I spoke. I gave everything to the dream that workers could control their own destiny, that people, regardless of race, sex, or origin, could be free to live without chains, whether those chains were iron or made of debt and hunger. They said I was dangerous. Maybe I was. Maybe telling people that they deserve better is the most dangerous thing you can do. I didn't believe in waiting quietly for justice. I didn't trust politicians to deliver it. I believed in power. I believed in people. But when the history books got written, they skipped me. They talked about the men in suits and ties. They made heroes of robber barons and forgot the voices in the street. Maybe they thought a black woman calling for revolution was too messy for their neat little chapters. Maybe they thought we weren't ready to learn about someone like me. But here I am. I'm not a statue. I'm not a name carved into marble. I'm not part of the official story. But I lived. I fought. I mattered. And if you listen closely, really listen, you'll hear me still. In every chant on a picket line, in every student walkout, in every mother demanding clean water and fair wages, in every soul who dares to say no to injustice. Don't let them tell you history is just presidents and wars. History is me. History is the people who lit fires in the dark and kept walking when the path disappeared. Remember me, not because I was perfect, I wasn't, but because I believed. I believed that another world was possible, and I spent my life trying to build it. So if they never taught you my name, let me teach it to you now. I am Lucy Parsons, and I am still speaking.